When she cried, the first time I heard her cry, it was such a small cry, like you could barely even hear it, because there was like, I guess she didn't have even enough energy to complain about what was being done to her. And I know, like, she can't even speak, she can't even complain. It's really heartbreaking to see your child not even be able to cry or to complain, not even having enough energy to do that. And then you being outside, not being able to do anything for her, or at least that's what I thought. I thought I couldn't do anything for her to help her at least have a couple of minutes of, tranquility and just, sorry, just her being relaxed at least for a couple of minutes until Mary and her team came. I felt like there was nothing that I could do to help her, because I didn't know what she needed. I didn't know if she needed, what kind of vitamins she needed, if she needed, like she couldn't even breathe on her own at the moment. So I felt like I couldn't really do anything for her except just watch her. Well, that changed when Mary came, and they started telling me about how babies can still sense you being there. They smell you, they recognize your smell. They know it's you, the person who has been taking care of them. When they told me how to like calm her down when she starts to cry, put your hands on her belly, and it really worked. Like, it really calmed her down. Like, she was a calm baby like after that. Every time that I had to go, like, she would wake up and she would notice that I'm not there anymore. But I know if she noticed that I'm not there anymore, she also noticed that I was there during that short time. And it really does help them. It helps them become more alert. She was starting to be like aware of like her surroundings. She would touch like her CPAP, like, look, even though I don't know how far she could look at the moment, but I know she would like look with her eyes. I felt something different. Like, she's looking at me. She's more energetic now. She was actually awake more time. So she had the energy to look up at people, at the lights, because of them being able to guide me through this process that neither I or anybody in my family has ever been through, which is something that it's kind of like walking into an unknown place, like something you can't even ask. I can't even ask my mother, like, how should I do this? Because she didn't have any of her children premature. Nobody in my family had any premature babies. This just came out of nowhere. And so asking her, I don't know if the same thing that she might have done with one of us would apply to our Lynn, because she's so small. I feel like mothers everywhere, not just in the US, but in the whole world, should have this kind of support, because every family is different. And in my case, I was here alone in this state. I have family in another state, but in this state, I was alone. So it's a good support for the mother. Them telling me that it's okay to interact with your baby, that it's really good for them. I would, not all the time, but I would open like the window as soon as I came in, wash my hands, open the window, and I would put my finger between all her little fingers and she would grab onto it. So I know she feels me there. And I would speak to her. I would get as close as I could, speak to her. Sometimes she would move a little, a little awake, but then she would look and then she would just go back to sleep. I guess she was tired or something. But yeah, like I did it more often. Every time I would go in there, that's the first thing I would do. Even if I wasn't able to do the kangaroo cares, because some days I could, other days I couldn't. It all depended on how early or how late I got there. I would still always try to at least let her know that I came. So at least hold her hand or put my hand on her belly or change her diaper or something. At least interact with her, let her know that I was there. It was amazing. It was just her knowing that she's here skin to skin You know, she was just sleeping peacefully. She was nice and warm, and me being able to hold her, she was really, really tiny. She might have been like this big. So she was like a tiny little person in there. And she was just sleeping. She was out cold. And I know she was a lot more, you know, comfortable in with me than in the incubator because she's smelling me. I'm giving her my body heat so she's not cold. She's hearing my heartbeat, which is something that Mary and Connie told me that in the placenta they hear your heartbeat, to the whoosh whoosh of the vein that goes through there. And so this is really close to the heart also. So she would also hear the heartbeat there. So it's a little bit of a more familiar setting for her. When she was out in an open crib, and when I would get there and change her diaper or something, she would look at me. And I know she saw me there. And then if I would move to one side, she would follow me. Or if I would go to close the blinds a little more, she would follow me there. When I took her out of my shirt to put her back in, she would stretch out and she would look at me. And I know she would stay awake when I was gone. When they would give me like the scent cloths for me to, you know, put my scent on them and then give them to the baby. I know it's not the same thing as you being there for your baby, but if it has your scent and your baby is more relaxed smelling that smell, I feel like it helps them too, to not be as stressed as if they would be if they didn't have anything. So them having or being able to smell at least something familiar might give them at least a little bit of peace for the moment. It feels more intimate when I speak to her in Spanish than if I speak to her in English. But when we did the kangaroo, I did speak to her in Spanish, and it did feel a little more like just me and her and nobody else.
Chiquita, Ali, mi amor, quiero pedirte disculpas, chiquita, porque no tuviste la misma oportunidad que otros bebés de haber salido a tiempo, al tiempo completo que todos los otros bebés. Entonces tú no hubieras tenido que pasar por este bebé. No tendrías que tener esto en tu naricita. Tú estarías tranquilita adentro, comiendo, creciendo, tranquilita, bebé, descansando. Pero en vez estás aquí, solita. Muy chiquita. De niña inocente, preciosa, hermosa. Y si tú no hubieras salido a las 27 semanas, si tú por lo menos hubieras salido a las 37. ¿Qué, mi amor? Qué chiquita. Tal vez no hubiéramos estado, tal vez si hubieras esperado estuviéramos más preparados, papá y yo. Porque ahorita no teníamos, pues tenemos ni tu carriola, no teníamos tu ropa, no teníamos tu cuna que te queremos comprar. En estos tiempos yo hubiera estado descansando, mi amor. So tú hubieras estado tranquila. Ya no hubiera estado trabajando. Tranquila íbamos a estar, bebé. Tú y yo tranquilitas.
When I did the emotional expression with Arlene, I felt like it was really beneficial to her and to me. To her because she's hearing me talk, she's hearing me be there for her. I know like inside the womb she can also hear you and she recognizes your voice. So it's a little bit of, I guess, a little bit of familiarity that she can get. So to, you know, calm her down, help her adjust a little bit to being out here in the world, out in the open. And it's also it was very beneficial to me because it helped me to clear my head like a little, like let go of like things that I was holding in. I guess like talking to her, I know she doesn't really understand what I'm telling her, but just being able to tell her about everything that she and I have gone through really does help, like to let go of those emotions and also to see how far we've come since the very first day. And now that I see my baby, you know, she's 10 months now. If you saw her out in the streets, you would never think she was a premature baby. And it's all thanks to this nurture program. I guess I need the support from not only like the nurses, but you know, the specialists, and sometimes people don't have support from their family. Some people are here alone, like they have no family at all, or they just might not, you know, be on very good terms. But I think this is a very important study that could help a lot of people in a lot of places because everybody's situation is different. And when it's a situation like this, an unexpected, sad situation, I think you need all the support you can get. I think part of what was so special about the program is that it made me realize that it wasn't just me being able to help Arlene, but Arlene was also helping me, not only emotionally, but also like mentally and even physically, because every day I would get up and knowing that I would be able to go and see her. And I didn't even feel tired. That's one of the best feelings in the world, knowing that your child will be okay, that, you know, even though she wasn't born in the best of situations, she or he can still make it through. And, you know, it shows you how strong babies can be. So if they can be that strong, why can't, you know, a mother be as strong for them to help them get through this complicated situation? And I think that's very important for mother and child and any parent, I guess. And it's a very wonderful thing what you guys are doing.